Welcome back to another episode of the Change What We Normalize podcast. I'm excited to bring you guys another powerful, jam-packed episode with a brother of mine. His name is Darryl McGregory. He is a content creator and a United States sailor, right? I met this brother a little while ago via social media, and I was just viewing his content, and it had me rolling. I'm not even gonna lie. Like it had me crying, and we kind of connected organically from there. And since then, he has made some major transitions. He has had some growth. But one of the beautiful things has been his journey of faith, right? His walk along with Christ. And I'm really excited, really excited to have this conversation with him and bring this brother to you. His testimony is powerful, and the value that he has is incredible. So, without further ado, look. Bringing my guy with over here, Daryl Matt. Hey, what's going on, bro?
What's up, man? I saw the video and I was like, dang, I need that jacket.
yeah, that jacket, man. I had a good friend out here make it for me. She's incredible with the painting and everything. But I appreciate that, man. How have you been?
Oh, I've been doing well, man. Just this journey of faith. Being a Christian, very tough.
Yeah, man. It's intense, man. It's intense. Nobody told me after I got baptized how challenging it would be. Everybody just wanted to celebrate.
Oh Lord, don't even maybe get into that one. Jesus.
Oh man. So look, everybody, I'm excited to have my brother Daryl here. For those that don't know you, I gave a brief description. But for those that don't know you or follow your content, go ahead and share a little bit about yourself.
Okay, how you guys doing? I'm Daryl McGregory. I was formerly known as Big Head Daryl. I changed it recently to Daryl Mac. 27 years old. I'm a United States sailor. I'm originally from Birmingham, Alabama. Right now, I'm stationed in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. And yeah, I'm a content creator. I create content, whether it's funny, inspirational, so on and so forth. And yeah, I'm a follower of Christ. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, his content, man, is so original and so funny. Like he has these skits, man, and we're going to get further into that as the conversation goes. But I want to jump right in to start talking about walking by faith, because I'm in that season of my life as well, where I'm really like walking this thing out. Like we hear people talk about it all the time, walk by faith, not by sight, all these different things. But it's really different when you're like in the thick of it. Right. It's really different. So I want to talk a little bit about, the transition that you're going through right now. I know we were sharing some things offline, and you're really in that faith journey and living that thing out for the world to see. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So usually, whenever we hear the journey of faith, there's like always, music in the background where you hear the inspirational music, and anytime it's, screaming at you, telling you, how you need to get up and do these things and so on and so forth. But this journey of faith has been very tough for me because a lot of times whenever we come into church, we have this mentality where we see the big calling. We want the big calling, but we don't ever talk about the small steps that lead to the big calling. That there are like small callings that you need to have in order for you to kind of like get to that point. And it's been very tough for me. I think I made a decision to leave the military. And it's very scary because I left my mama house at 21 to leave the military. So it's like I'm leaving like my foundation, if you would say, just free medical, free dental, all these things. I'm leaving it, and I'm recognizing, money can't equate to happiness. Money cannot. Sure. And a lot of times, even with faith and everything, you have family and friends who haven't even, took that step to even leave their state, wanting to give you advice on how you need to handle stepping out on faith, and it can get very tough because it's like, dang, I'm the only one that sees this vision, but nobody else sees it. And you want to be convinced that, like, you want people to be convinced that, you know, this is a real thing, but the only way for you to do it is unless you step out and do it. And pretty much just to sum it up, I was on Clubhouse, and I was talking to all these people that were like in the business, the entertainment business, that known me for a while. I had a friend from the movie Hardball. His name is Julian Griffith, and I didn't know he was following me. I was like, no, I got people that I saw on TV when I was little know who I am. It's like, and I remember TD Jakes said something saying that your name rides through the wind, and I believe in that. So yeah, they encouraged me to leave the military. So I felt that was right, and I felt alive whenever I do my content creation. So yeah, that's why I made the decision. I was like, I'm going to take the leap of faith. I'm not happy, so when took the deuces.
Was there something like influential or something that happened that pushed you to take, like you said, that's a big leap right there. Was there something that, you know, may have happened where it was like, I have to do this now? You know, was there like an actual event or anything?
I won't even say there was like an actual event. It's just, I've always been the type of person where I had a vision that nobody else had. Like growing up. I mean, once you're African American and black man, you know, raised in Birmingham, Alabama, and you're not into sports, people don't know what to do with you. So I've always had dreams of going to California and so on and so forth. I think what pushed me was my mental health. My mental health was not in the right place. And I joined the military to figure out what I wanted to do. I understood that, like, I'm not happy. You know what I'm saying? I think that was just enough for me. I didn't want to just live life just to like put food on the table.
Survive,
I feel like it was way more to my life than that. And that's what really pushed me. And when you're around the right people who see something in you that nobody else saw, and they can talk you out of it, like, I just felt faith stir up within me to say, okay, bump it. I'm gonna do it. I don't care how much money I got. I don't care whether I'll be able to get disability afterwards, so on and so forth. I'm gonna do it because I know I'm meant for something greater in life, you know, than what I'm settling for. So
I heard once, and you made me think of this just now, just sharing that. And we're talking about taking this leap, right? I heard once, how much is your job paying you to forget about your dreams? Yeah, man, it hit me like that too. And I was like, whoo, that's heavy. Like, how much are they? And I'm not encouraging people to just go quit your job, but it made me think, like, we were brought here with a purpose and a plan for us. And just like you, I don't believe it was just to work to put food on the table. And that's your life. That's your legacy. That's what you've brought into the world. And it's like, man, how much are they paying you to forget about that dream that you've had for, you know, X amount of years, that thing that you can't not think about all day, that thing that God has placed on your heart? How much are they giving you for you to forget about that, man? And a lot of people are taking that route because it seems more secure. It seems more secure. Not following the plan and the purpose. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I had people don't understand. Like, I'm in the military, so I got everything I want.
Everything.
I get paid a good amount of money just to live out here in Hawaii for 6 years in paradise. But mentally, I was in hell. Wow. You know, I wasn't, like, money doesn't equate to everything. Medical benefits doesn't equate to everything. Yeah, they are like necessary, but it ain't essential for me. And yeah, you can get paid as much as you want. I have friends that have killed themselves because of, like, all these things that's going on, and they messaged me before they even did it. So it's like, I recognize the importance of life. And I think, I'm gonna be honest, I think what changed for me, I had a car wreck in 2012. The car flipped over twice on my prom night. I was in the back seat, and I woke up while the car was flipping. And when that happened, I think it did something within me to kind of just recognize life is short. I'm I know God has a purpose for my life. So it's like I'm if I survive that and I understand like things can happen in an instant. This was on my prom night. So it's like
That's yeah, I was about to say that's I can only imagine that. And
yeah.
just thinking about, especially you as a man of faith, me as a man of faith, I think about God being that provider. And then I also think about the individuals who I talk to who believe in God, they have strong conviction and everything like that. But it's like, how much do you believe that God's going to provide? Have you put the employer over God? Like that's the resource, that's the avenue, and there's
Yeah.
millions of them. But if God's your provider, why isn't your focus there? And that was something that I had to learn. I was sharing with you, just a few months ago, I was released from my position, as a director. And I had to really just kind of have a conversation with myself, like, okay, do you really believe what you believe? How do you feel about God now that things have been taken away from you? Has your feelings changed towards God? And in that moment, I remember just praying for the individuals who released me, and there was this sense of like peace just fell on me in my car. And I was like, okay, that was weird. And I called my fiance, told her about it. I was kind of expecting her to be like, what, this is crazy. And she was just like, look, we'll figure it out. And now you'll be able to do the stuff that you truly wanted to do, the stuff that you dreamed about. And, that's where I'm at now, going full force with that. And God has provided in a way that it's really unexplainable. And that's what when he says his ways are not our ways, you know what I'm saying? It's just like stuff don't even be making sense. But because it doesn't, now I can credit all of that towards God. Like, look, this is God, y'all. Look, I'm here, he's using me, but I'm just keeping it 100. This is all God, like for real, for real.
Yeah.
And I hear that, throughout your story, throughout your journey. So, you're saying that you took this leap of faith, right? And obviously you took it with a sense of direction of where you're trying to go. So what's that next step look like? Like, where are you looking to go with this? Like, what are you looking to do? Or what are you doing right now? Because that's not an easy thing to just walk away from and do nothing,
Yeah, definitely. I think where I'm where I am right now with it is I just came from Los Angeles. I was out there for a little bit. That was my first time out there, and I was meeting with people who I've known since the Vine days.
Real quick, how is Los Angeles? Because I hear mixed things. I've never been. I want to go, but I hear like, yeah, go ahead.
Los Angeles is Los Angeles. That's the best description. Very, you don't know who you might meet. Somebody you may meet like casually out eating dinner or something, or so on and so forth. May have been like on your TV, like so on and so forth. Like people, it's I can't really describe it. It's very, very LA. A lot of I think it's very demonic out there. I do.
Oh
definitely.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of opportunity. It's rise and grind over there. I love the LA mentality, where it's like everybody's trying to make it and everybody's willing to do something to get there. But I'm not the type of person to do something to kind of let my morals to a side. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But my talent speak up for itself. But I think I went out to LA. I got an Airbnb out in Beverly Hills, and I was with like a few other people. It was real nice. And I met this guy named Kenny Knox, who I was like really cool with growing up. And me and him started at the same time. Started doing videos at the same time in 2013. This dude blew up. Had like almost 1 million followers on Instagram. Blew up on TikTok, Vine, had Vine Awards, all types of stuff. And he saw me. He was like, "Daryl, this is my first time meeting you. I want to let you know you was the first person to believe in me." And he was like, "You planted seeds." He said, "I owe you reparations." It's like you planted seeds within me that made all of this. You get paid like $7,000 to $8,000 a month just to post a video. Crazy. And he was like, "Daryl, what are you doing, bro?" He said, "What are you doing, man?" So it pushed me to like want to go further with my comedy, but not just in my comedy, bro. I think my writing. I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm and things may change. I'm figuring it out right now. So I'm thinking I'm going into directing. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I feel like I want to be able to tell more stories in a comedic way. And it's crazy. I feel like God has been prepping me this my whole life, and I didn't even know it. Like I would get in. I was real bad when I was little. So I used to get in trouble for a lot of crazy stuff. My mom would take cable out of my room, but I would only have the DVD player. And we used to have Tyler Perry plays, and I used to replay them all the time and laugh at it. And the fun thing is that's why my skits are so written well and it's so intricate and unique. It's because I think God's been prepping me for a while for this. And yeah, I'm working on my skit series. I have a skit series I'm about to come out with called the Quarantine Christian. And it's pretty much how God used the quarantine to push people from religion to relationship, and how he worked in my life and so on and so forth. And yeah, I don't want to give too much of the details.
Okay.
I pushed it off for a little bit because I was dealing with some stuff, but I'm ready to push forward into it.
So question, because I'm a writer as well, or I like to consider myself a writer. What does your process look like? Because I have a friend out here, a really close friend of mine, who is a playwright. He does spoken word as well, like everything arts. That's what he does. And I remember he casted me for his play a couple years ago, and I was in it, and I'm like reading the script. I'm like, "Do you wrote all this? Like, how did this story come out of you like this?" And I was trying to understand his process, and I'm just like, "Man, that's God given right there. Like that's powerful." So with you write incredible skits, and I'm sure you're going to do incredible projects, especially as you move in towards directing. What does that process look like? Like, do you just sit down and just inspiration hits you? Do you got to set the mood, the tone, throw some worship on? Like, what does that look like? Do you need to see something and be out and it just comes? Like, how does that happen?
I think it happens. A lot of my topics or what I do, it stems from like the phrase for this show, change what we normalize. The reason why I say that is because a lot of stuff that I dealt with in life, and the way God is like formed me in a way, the way I'm wired, I'm not the type of person that likes to normalize certain things that everybody else has normalized that is probably necessarily toxic, or they don't want to talk about, so on and so forth. With my comedy in particular, I love talking about topics that ride the line between Christianity and worldly stuff. Things that church are afraid to talk about. Yeah. But how can I do this in a way in which it's like anybody can digest it? And to a certain extent, it became a sermon for me. It's weird. It's like I'm writing sermons with these skits. My process with me is, I'm gonna be honest, I get my ideas from God. Like God gives me my ideas. And I think that's the tough part for it, because there are seasons in which I completely fall off and then I don't have no content pushing off. And it's like, dang. So my process, God gives me the idea. I'm a visionary. So like I visualize everything. I know how everything looks. I know how the skit looks before I even do it. And sometimes like the skit will come out way better than what I imagined, because I took a leap of faith. It's like I have a baseline of, like the last skit that I did. I forgot, I did so many dang skits. The last skit that I did, I visualized it. I started writing it out. And I guess the crazy thing is, with my background with band, I played trombone for 9 years. I understand with music is storytelling. So with I understand that there's like rhythmic beats. I understand music has to play in account. So I have music playing in my head of how I'm gonna do it. To set the tone. I understand like just comedic beats. So I understand that like everything that I do within my skit, God already has kind of given me the sense of just knowing how it looks, how it tastes, how it sounds, what I'm aware, how the weather is going to look, to convey that message. Because even growing up, when I looked at plays, bro, I had nothing else to look at. So I would go on the DVDs and look at special features. How did they create the film? So on and so
I
forth.
remember
And
that.
I would be obsessed with it. Crazy stuff, bro. Because I'm into like superhero stuff. I'm a huge Marvel fan.
Okay.
So when I saw X-Men on TV, it blew my mind. Like I was like, man, like I get to see Storm, Wolverine, and all these people. Like this is crazy because it was an escape from a reality that like something was way like it reminded me that something was way bigger than me. Like I'm in Alabama and I'm and I don't want to be here, so I'm looking outside my car while my mom's trying to backseat as a little kid and just imagine like, hey, what if aliens took over when we came back? What if this and that? I was such like a very imaginative kid, so yeah, it's just I think God just I see it before I even put it out there, and that's how I know. But that's the scary part, you know. You take a journey of faith and directing. That's something completely different. I'm comfortable with skit right now. Like I'm good with that. But writing a show, I've never done that. So it's like God put it on my heart, and I feel like I want to show the real Christian experience. The struggle. Sometimes God doesn't take things away immediately. Sometimes He want to walk you through it. We need that to be shown. We need that to be shown. We can't everything ain't microwave with God. So yeah.
That's good. That's good, man. As I'm thinking more about this transition for you being in LA and just the culture out there from people that I know, like I have friends who do music, a few that are in acting and things like that. I'm starting to get this feeling that more Christians, right, like true Christians, are making their way into entertainment, into music, like mainstream things, right? They're making their way in there and they're having impact within that. Like we're not creating our own separate bubble of like, hey, these are the Christian DVDs over here at the bookstore. It's like, now we're going straight to the mainstream stuff. We want to be on TV too. We want to be in these positions too. And there is a young lady, you may have seen her on social, on TikTok or on Instagram. She was in like all the Tyler Perry stuff, or a few of the Tyler Perry things. And I think she was in House of Pain, if I'm not mistaken. But the young lady, China, she's really been like proclaiming the gospel, like via TikTok, via Instagram. And for me, it was encouraging and inspiring to see someone who's deep within the industry be so bold about their faith. And I think that that's powerful because she didn't allow the industry to turn her into someone else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She actually allowed the industry to fuel kind of like, all right, this is why I need to be here talking about this. Y'all can say what y'all got to say. I'm going to do this, this, and this. And I see you coming in with a similar spirit of like, look, I am who I am. Like, y'all not about to have me wavering, but I'm going to come in here and do what I need to do, what God has on my heart. Which I think is huge because on the mainstream level, that's where we really need to be to have the biggest impact, especially as it pertains to the kingdom. So I'm excited to see that transition, or you just dabble into directing, because that's a whole nother like beast right there. But I can only imagine all of the projects and the ideas that are God's stirring up in you to really get out into the world and what we need. So I want to ask you this for someone who needs some encouragement, right? You said you grew up, in a way where everybody like praised sports, right? If you wasn't playing sports, you wasn't nobody. And that's similar to kind of where I'm at in Jersey. It was like, if you wasn't playing ball or football, what was you really doing? So a lot of people, shied away from doing the arts. Like I would consider myself an artist growing up. I love drawing. Like I was incredible at it. Drawing, telling stories, all these different things, but I kind of pulled away from it as the peer pressure like got on me. And I just found my safe haven in basketball. And I happened to be gifted in basketball as well. And it took me on a journey across the country, all these different things. But I realized that I walked away from the gifts that I had within the arts to be creative and express myself in certain ways because it wasn't something popular. It wasn't the cool thing to do. So we're going to go back a little bit. You as a kid growing up, how did you kind of persevere through that when it seemed like everybody around you was so just focused in on sports? Like this is what boys do.
how I persevered through it, I went through the motions a lot. I just a lot of times you can have the wrong gift. You can have the right gifts but operating in the wrong identity. And
Oof.
for
Hold
me,
on.
yeah, yeah. and for me, that's what it was. Like I was trying to find my identity and fitting in, but my gifts, because I know how to draw. I can draw, paint, sing, play trombone for 9 years, comedic. I have all these things. But then when you have culture pressuring you to be completely different, and that's how it is. So I think for me, what I did was, how can I say, I did it the wrong way. I got bullied growing up for being different. So that's what really started my videos. I was like, I want to be popular. That's what I said in the beginning, and that was the wrong way of going about it. And I wanted to be popular. I blew up, but then I fell off. I ended up getting like social media bullied, and it was like really, really bad. To the point I was suicidal. And God had to teach me, like, Darryl, you can have the platform, but if you don't got the character to sustain that, it means nothing. So I think for me, I operated my gift in the wrong way, and when I came back the way I did now, I think it's just straight up God, because you can persevere and step out on faith in the wrong identity and completely fall off. But if you want to find some form of sustainability, like God is the only way to go. I'm gonna be honest. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it.
That's deep. Wow. I never even thought about it that way. It was more so just persevere through it, but you can actually do it in a way where it's wrong, and even hearing you say that, I think about myself. Like I persevered, but I had then took my identity and put it into basketball, put it into the things that I thought would keep me popular.
Yeah,
when those things fail you, it's crazy.
Popularity and platforms. Even within church, popularity and platform, but not chasing the presence. If the presence of God isn't a priority, stop. And it's not saying that your gift has to be all about God. Like everything has to be through the church, so on and so forth. But I do believe that you can use your gift in an honoring way, honoring God in a way, and also going to Him to be the one to set the pace for your career and your dreams and your goals. Because social media will make you be in a rush. I gotta go to Greece and take these pictures. I gotta go here. I gotta go to this party. And sometimes you ain't gotta go. Like sometimes you just gotta. They are like cutting grass or something.
You all good.
Sometimes you gotta like go at the pace God wants you to go. You know what I'm saying? And my fact, not sometimes, all the time. You need to. And you can't just let the world set that pace for you, because it's nothing but sinking sand whenever you let the world dictate what you need to do,
Yeah, absolutely. For you as someone who, I would say a lot of your career and the things that God is kind of blessing you in regards to the platform is built within that social media realm. Like that's how a lot of us found you. How did or was there a time where it consumed you? And if so, what did you learn from that process? Because I know for me, it was a point where social media was, one, giving me anxiety. But I remember I was comparing myself to a lot of people at that time, and it made me feel less than. For whatever reason, it made me feel less than. And I was like, I gotta separate from this for a little while. And for you, someone who has skits, videos, you're blowing up here on this, you were blowing up on that platform. It's like, this seems like this is a real big deal for you. It's like, how do you manage that? Like, what did you learn from that process of maybe, being consumed by it, but also being attacked on it?
Okay, so First off, I think when I first went on social media, I think people see the success, but they don't understand the weight that it carries. So when I first started out on Vine, I was, like I said, I was just trying to seek popularity. That was it. And I blew up, and none of that thing sustained me whatsoever. So when I fell off, um, and I was suicidal, I understood that like the platform doesn't mean anything if you ain't got Jesus. So then when I followed him, when I eventually did that, like I think that's what really provided it. But I think the thing is that you gotta also like have some form of humility, man. Like you don't know everything.
Very true.
You don't know everything. And the way God, I can't even really give you like a practical answer. It's just, I'm gonna be honest. It's just the fact that like I went to the depth of myself. Like I had to die of myself, of what I think how everything should be. And I don't get too influenced by social media because of the simple fact I understood that I was in a place growing up where sports was popularized, but I couldn't get into it. Mm-hmm. So it's like when I'm in an area or where things is popularized and so on and so forth, I understand that like if that's not like if I'm not wired to do it, I'm not gonna hop and set the pace like and be in a rush to do these things and be pressured by people too much. I can care like if I'm not in a good spot, like I ain't gonna post. I don't care how much engagement I got. I'm not gonna post because I understand. Like I've been through so much stuff with this social media stuff, dog. Like I'm not gonna post. And people want you to post. They're like, hurry up and post it. You gotta do this and it's like,
wow.
I'm
like
not
a
gonna
slave
rush.
to the people.
Yes, I'm not like, and I'm so passionate about it because of the simple fact you all of a sudden you got a lot of people trying to affirm you, give you prophetic opinions about your life, and it gets very very weird because it's funny because the people that didn't affirm me in my sabbatical for my videos, all of a sudden they're calling me brother, friend, and it's like clearly you're hopping on the wave because of the simple fact I'm trending, but it's like I knew I had this gift within me before everybody else did. So I've been doing this for about a decade, and then I put out original content, so it's like nobody can copy what I do because I'm not on TikTok doing TikTok dances for following. If you choose to do that, whatever, that's you. But for me, it's like you're not going to have no longevity if there's no originality. Just straight up.
That's real right there.
So that's why I'm confident in knowing who I am, and I know I'm gonna be successful. With God, most importantly, it's just because I know my gifts, and I've been operating in this for so long, bro. It's like, this is trending. This gonna go the next day. You know how much stuff happened in 2020.
Right, it was so many trends. It was so many trends. Flying through trends in 2020. So let me ask you this: on the topic of trends, are there people who I would say, all right, are there people, because you do original content, right? So I know for my industry with speaking and going to schools like that, there's a lot of different, I don't like the term motivational speakers, but whatever, motivational speakers, right? So everybody's kind of watching everybody. And you have like the top dogs in the industry that are, at the top tier, making the top money, doing all these things. I notice a lot of people try to do what they're doing, try to be like them, try to sound like them. For you, as an artist, as an actor, as, now a director, do you see yourself being inspired by other people's work? Like, are you watching other people, or are you not even like, I can't even tune into that? Because I know for one of the main guys, Eric Thomas, he says he doesn't even really watch other speak or listen to other speakers because he doesn't want to be influenced on what God's kind of placing on him. So are you someone who's kind of inspired by the work of others? Or are you like, I don't really want to be influenced, so I don't watch too much of what other, artists are doing?
I don't want to be influenced. Um, I really don't. I don't mind being inspired. I don't want to be influenced. I want my
Mm.
vision to be something unique. I feel like God has given all of us a puzzle piece, and I
Mm.
can't I can't fit my puzzle piece into something that somebody else can fit in. I'm Daryl.
Mm.
There was times where I would be at church and people would be like, "You're going to be the next Mike Todd. You're going to be the next
Yeah.
Devon Franklin, and this, and that." And it's like, no, I'm going to
Yeah.
be the next Daryl. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what it is. So I when I do go, I don't follow too many content creators, and if I do, I have them on mute because I understand how easily swayed I can be. So
That
I'm
sound okay. I
very
like that.
heavy. Yeah, I'm very heavy on once you recognize how easily swayed you can be with things, dog. Like, yeah, you're gonna have to learn to protect yourself. So I think for me, I want to make sure that whatever I put out is original, which is why I think it's so hard, especially for me to be like as consistent as I want to, because of the simple fact everybody's copying. This joke has already been said, or
Yeah,
this
yeah.
and that. So I like when my content is tied with something that people are afraid to talk about,
That's
especially with
good.
church. So
That's good.
and that's a shock value portion of it. So I'm very strategic. I'm extremely strategic. A whole lot more than what people think. People be thinking they laughing at the joke when in reality it's like, no, you're laughing at the joke because it goes along with this sound and so on and so forth, and they don't even know it. It's like I'm just playing puppet master trying to get them like to laugh, and it's working.
Uh-huh.
So
Nah, that's powerful, man. And just in this industry, I know I was coming across a few posts, a few tweets about, I think it was like comedians stealing jokes from other comedians or something. I think it was like Cat Williams or something like that. And I'm like, man, this is challenging. It's like
yeah,
we're all uniquely made, we're all uniquely created, but oftentimes we see the success that someone else has. We want that, so we try to mimic what they do. And it's one of those things too. You said it too, where it's like, oh, you're going to be the next Mike Todd, or you're going to be the next LeBron James, or the next blah blah blah. And it's like we have to stop doing that to people, especially young people. We got to stop doing that and allow them to be themselves. Because I see, especially in within the sports arena and things like that, these young kids coming up, with their own gifts and talents are always compared to someone generations down the line. Like, oh, you're the next this person, and you're the next. And it's like, when did I become a carbon copy of somebody else and not, original creation and whom I'm called to be? So I applaud you for, being an individual where it's like, look, I'm inspired by people. Like, I love some of these other people. I love what they do. It makes me laugh. It inspires me. But at the same time, I have my own original things to bring to the table. And I believe that that's what's going to not only create success for you, but sustain success. Because like you said, you're not following what's going on. You're not following the trends. I remember Jay-Z talking about that. He was saying, like, pretty much like a synopsis saying, like, they have these trends and things like that, but they come and go. They come and go. Like, I'm sticking to me. I'm sticking to what I know. I'm sticking to getting better at my craft. That sound's going to change a year from now. That sound's going
yeah,
to change 2 years from now. Like
yeah,
next year, and things aren't going to be the same within
yeah.
entertainment, within comedy, within music, within arts. Like, things keep evolving and growing. So you just really inspired me, honestly, and got me wondering why I'm reading all these books. I must start reading them because I got
No,
inspired earlier,
bro.
man.
Yeah, it's essential, man. And everybody's copying everybody right now. Everybody.
That's
And
scary.
yeah, it's everybody's copying, especially with content creating. I think
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, I'm not really, I'm gonna be honest. My skits are like real funny and I know I can do it, but I wanna I wanna grow in my craft. I don't wanna be operating out of that 9-year-old Daryl that wanna be popular, you know, and all that. It's like, okay, I see I have a gift. How can I grow in it? And see where we go from here, because it's nothing but sinking sand. One day they love you, next day they hate you. One minute you trending, next minute you're not trending. So people call me like, yo, this person is trending. Darren, this person following. And I read through it because it's like, I've been there since social media skit creation was there. I was one of the first people I think I was probably the first African American black creator from Alabama.
And that was in the Vine days, right? That was in when Vine.
Yeah, that was in the Vine days. And I've seen people come and go and stuff. So it's like, reason why I have longevity and a cult following is because I make sure whatever I put out, there's intention behind it. There's relatability, there's a lesson, there's intention, or either there's awareness. And when I do it in a tasteful way, it's like, and I got tired of people cutting off my mic to a certain extent. Like, Daryl, don't say this, don't say that. So I was like, okay, well, let me put it in this skit. I'm gonna put heavy truth on it, but I'm gonna make it funny. So
that's good. That's good. Was there? I want to ask this. As a personal question, was there ever a time within this journey of you creating content where you were, somewhat envious of someone you seen kind of blow up, and you felt like your stuff was better? You know what I'm saying? You're just like, man, they blew up. Like, that's crazy. Like, was there ever a time with that? If so, can you explain a little bit about that? Kind of go into it,
bro. That's like almost every day I get like that. So I had to put my phone down. And it's like almost every day because it's like your gift and you want to be like like why I'm not there. Like my goal has always been like I want to hit 100K over one. Like that's my goal. Like to hit over 100K. It's like every time I try to hit that 100K mark, something happens. It's like a stop. And yeah, I think what it's I've seen people like. I ain't gonna mention names or nothing. I don't want to mention names. I've seen a lot of people on TikTok do it and they blow up simply off of just copying somebody else's stuff and getting 100K. I got friends that like got 300,000 on TikTok, and they tell me all the time like, "Yo, Daryl, you are way funnier than me. I don't know how I'm doing this, Daryl. You need to push this content out and so on and so forth." And of course I get jealous or envious, but I think I have to do heart checks and recognize that and recognize that they're on their own journey and I should celebrate them. And I have to seek some form of humility and just be like and just celebrate them and make sure my heart is in the right place. So I'm still friends with them and stuff. It's just I think, like I said, it's an everyday process. I just got to put the phone down.
It's everyday thing.
Like I wish I could just unfollow. I could just mute all the what I do. I mute them. I mute people until they ask me for advice. So like if your timeline ain't inspiring you, it's like inspiring you or either pushing you to kind of achieve that goal, then definitely like. You need to like start muting people, doing things.
That's a word.
People that are gonna plant seeds of comparison, so on and so forth. I want people that's gonna point me towards the right direction, not people that's gonna take pictures while they're there. Yeah. That's the thing. So right now, for me, I follow people that inspire me. Like even when you made your whole book, like I got your book sitting over here, like right there. And
that's what's up, man.
Like it definitely inspired me because. I understand the importance of character, and I understand the importance of going back into your past and not operating out of that space. So I make sure I follow people that inspire me, bro. And yeah, I want to give you your flowers.
I appreciate that, man. That's love for real. So on the flip side of that question, do you have people, within your industry, within that space who like openly kind of envy you when they see the successes, kind of like throwing shade and things like that? Have you experienced any of that? Or
in the beginning I did, but now I don't. I call it, like I immediately point it out. Like I just know. I make sure I surround myself like the people within the industry that I'm in, that I'm close with. I make sure I surround myself around like-minded people, but people that are going to push me in my creativity. And there was a time on Vine where like I was like in need of a community, It's like I said, I grew up being like the black sheep.
Yeah.
So it's like when I got online, it was like, oh, I want this. This will heal me, being a part of this community. And it didn't. Because I put my peace at risk for proximity.
Ooh.
And
oh, I still that one. That's a whole bar right there.
Yeah, you can't put your peace at risk for proximity.
Put your peace.
You can't, because you willing to settle for everything. So I'm very conscious of. I tell people all the time, there's only two people in charge of my peace, and it's me and Jesus Christ.
Amen.
I'm not dealing with none of that. So I make sure I surround myself around the right people, and I be conscious. So yeah.
That's wow. That's good, man. That's good. And as we're talking on the topic of peace, I have a few more questions I do want to ask you, because I'm a huge mental health advocate and things like that. And we're talking about peace. You shared a little bit about your journey. You shared a little bit about your kind of struggles with suicide and things like that. When you were in those dark spaces, feeling really challenged, feeling like you wanted to let go, what were where was the turning point? Like, how did you transition out of that? Along with obviously God, were there practical things that you were doing?
Okay, so with my journey, what I began to learn was like God was more concerned with me not running back to my chains than him breaking it. Woo! So that's facts.
Because get up and run the lap.
I would go to church. I would go to some churches and stuff, and people would be like, just proclaim the name of Jesus, 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 Jesus. And watch the walls fall down. And I'm like, I'm still depressed. I don't know what's going on. And it's not saying that doesn't happen for people. I don't want to push my trauma on things on people whatsoever it is. This is my journey. This is what I dealt with and what God was trying to teach me. I was telling God to take away my depression, meanwhile still operating in a space that would produce more depression. And I didn't know it. And it was normalized. So what I began to do is I was like, God, take away this depression. And he was like, no, go work out. And I'm like, okay, stop listening to Migos and Drake. I like it every once in a while, but it's like, stop listening to Migos and Drake. So I started listening to Bethel. I started listening to Maverick City. I started listening to Hillsong every day. And the crazy thing is I will always be attracted to like songs that will like make me sad or make me like cry. So I'll be working out, playing Kirk Franklin, Imagine Me. Imagine me.
Oh, that song, bro.
And I'm like, oh, I love you, Jesus. So it's like stuff like that. And I begin to start eating better. I begin to start reading my Bible more. And all of a sudden, like, and I of course, I had to take medicine for it, of course, for my depression. And eventually I stopped taking it. And I just started to learn to steward my peace better. So I make sure I don't let people within my energy, my space, and give my energy to things that don't need to be given to. And it seems like everything in my life, bro, like it's always been me reparenting myself. I think one of the big things that I learned recently was like I would operate out of the space of like 9-year-old Daryl. That wasn't loved, Yeah. And I would look in the mirror and I would see that. I'll be a 27-year-old man, young man. I say old man. I feel old, my knees. Young man. And I would look in the mirror and I would see little old me. And I would operate in that space all the time. So what I began to do is I understand that like God isn't just the God that stops the storms, but he helps you walk through it. And process through it. And there have been times where like I would sit in here on this couch by myself screaming, crying, and that would be my act of worship. Because I'm opposing everything that I was taught. Like literally I'm dying of myself. And I would look at God and God, and I understood God was crying with me within the process as well too. When Lazarus died and he walked up, like he was crying with them. He wasn't grieving because of the like. He knew the end of it, but he loved me so much to be in the process with me during it. And
Compassion. Yeah.
and I had to worship when there was no music. I had to lead myself in communion and prayer, like because I got so used to having this movie theater experience at church, where I gotta have this, you gotta have this, and that. And I had to
Yeah.
get to the basis. And I remember TD Jakes saying this, like for example, in the Bible, Bethel was a place of worship. But the people that went to Bethel, they didn't understand that Bethel was a mindset. It wasn't a place. And if they understood that God was everywhere that they went, they went and just traveled all the way to Bethel. In that sense, we kind of made church our Bethels in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
We feel as though we can only be filled there, so on and so forth. So I make sure I seek the Lord with all my heart, mind, soul, and body and strength. And seek a firsthand encounter, because there have been times where I literally, my faith was solely based off of my pastor's faith.
Wow.
Secondhand encounter.
Wow.
I needed a firsthand encounter with God, who his God is to me. And he pushed me towards a lifestyle. He didn't just want to take it away. It's like he's not a genie, you know what I'm saying? He wanted to push me towards a lifestyle and a character in which I could steward my peace better and be in direct communication with him. And it's a process. I'm still in it. I'm still winging everything, trying to figure out where's God in this and so on and so forth. But I understood that, like, the crazy thing is the measure in which the spiritual attacks and warfare that I have experienced, I understand now why the devil attacked me with my depression and my emotions. Because the crazy thing is, God speaks to me through that. Not through my depression, but like through my emotions and my feelings. So I will be emotionally numb to things, so on and so forth. I'll be depressed. I would do things to suppress it. And then eventually, bro, I just started, when I followed God, I started to recognize, like, dang, God started to speak through my feelings. So, like, I would pray for people and I'll feel pride. Like, okay, I guess this is what we got to address. I'll be on worship. And I will feel so, like, it's crazy. Speaking of X-Men, it was like I felt like Rose from X-Men. Like, I would touch people and it was like,
yeah, you can feel everything.
And I would have to pray it off. Like, the first time I experienced this was a friend, his mother passed away, and I put my hands on him and I prayed for him. And all of a sudden, I felt all his grief and heaviness. And I started crying. I was like, I was like, I never felt this before. And God speaks to me like through that. And I think that's my spiritual gift. Yeah. So I'm like prophetic in a way. Yeah.
I've never even heard it explained that way. Because I got so much more I want to say, but I'm not going to hold you longer. But I just think of, when all right, so I'm not going to say we. In the community that I grew up in, it was like the gifts were, things you can see pretty much like this. Oh, he can sing. He need to be on the choir. He can do this. He need to be here. Or she can do that. She need to be there. And just to hear how God speaks to you, because I was raised in a way where God had to speak to you a certain way. Like you said, it had to be in the church. It had to be during Bible study. It had to be during, worship service where everybody falling out. This is when God is speaking the most. And it's like, bro, you're saying like God speaks literally through my emotions. Like emotions will rise in me. And I'm like, all right, where did that come from? I need to address this. That's such a powerful, powerful thing and freeing thing to hear from you. Because I find myself in very similar situations. Not saying that it's the same thing, but I've caught myself a few times just being spiritually aware of like, all right, where did this come from? Why am I feeling this way? And a younger version of me would just roll with the feeling, like the feeling leading the way. But I'm learning emotional fluency now to where it's like, oh no, I'm making a different decision. Like this feeling is here, which is really just like a red light for me to be like, all right, let me just make a different decision. So, man, I really, really appreciate you sharing that. And I believe somebody's going to be blessed from that because, again, I've never heard it explained that way. And that's powerful for you to have that level of awareness at a young age. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm 31. So I'm saying, so you're young out of these streets.
No.
man. But so I'm not gonna hold you for much longer, bro. But really quick, tell people where they can find you, via social media. How can they get in contact with you?
You can find me at Daryl.Mac, Mac with 2 C's. And on Instagram, on TikTok, Big Head Daryl. I gotta change that. Big Head Daryl, but if it's changed to Daryl Mac on there, change it. I also got a second TikTok page. I think this is my first time announcing it. Second TikTok page called The Faith Dealer. So I just go in there and just talk inspirational stuff on there. I've been real low key. And on Facebook, Daryl McGregory. Daryl McGregory on Facebook.
I gotta go follow you. Oh, TikTok's a different beast, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Oh, yeah, I made a TikTok a couple of months ago because I was like, I want to put some inspirational stuff on here. Like, let me just see. It's a different beast. It's a different type. Like, you got to be a different type of person. Not only that, you first get the app because you aren't following anybody of like true influence or people that you want to see. You get everything. So I'm on this. I'm like, this is not safe for kids. Like, they don't need to be on here.
No.
Yeah, it was off the hook, man. First guy, I was like, bro, what is going on here? And I'm like, all the kids got us. It's different, but I follow some amazing people, and it's a lot of just Christians on there with incredible content. And just other people I'm inspired by, and I love how creative you can get on that platform because of the tools that they have. So that's dope, man. I'm gonna definitely follow you on that page. So before we head out, you already kind of explained what's next for you, the things that you're doing. So I want you to share a quote, right? I'm huge on quotes. You know me. I'm huge on quotes. I'm huge on Change What We Normalize was a quote that was birthed, out of a certain situation. And I have quotes all on my walls. You can't see them now, but it's like sticky notes all over here on my desk. And there are quotes that inspire me. Some are pulled out the Bible. Some I just may have heard somebody. Like, you even said something, I wrote it down on here. Like, I love different quotes. I want you to share a quote that, you either live by or that has inspired you.
One quote that changed my life, T.D. Jakes, and he said, there's an older version of you in the future relying on you now to make the right decisions for him. And that changed my life. It's kind of like be who you needed growing up. So yeah, I live by that. I live by that 100%, and I fight to be that. So yeah, definitely. That's the quote that changed my life.
Perspective shift for real. That's powerful right there. That's powerful right there, and encouraging. So, last question for you before I let you go, man. What does change what we normalize mean to you?
Change what we normalize means to me is like not following the trend all the time, not justifying things because we were taught it. Change what we normalize is being spiritually aware with things, so on and so forth. It's I can go in many rounds with it, but especially for me, it's just change how we normalize, like, for example, masculinity, so on and so forth. Being able to say I love you more, being able to be emotionally aware of things, not emotionally numbing myself, and recognizing like when I do that, I can dibble off into anger and misplaced situations and unhealthy coping mechanisms. And just normalizing being different and being yourself. I think that's the thing. Just being yourself and normalizing that and not letting people make you deviate from your truth and what you believe in. And that doesn't mean you push it off on people and say, this is what it is. It's like, no, it's saying, this is me, this is my life, I honor it. And, everything, all of us have to change certain things of what has been normalized in our lives to get to the point where we need to be. So.
That's powerful, man. That's extremely powerful, bro. I just want to say thank you, man, for tapping in with me, man, jumping on the podcast with me. I know your time is extremely valuable. I love the growth that I'm seeing. I'm honored to somewhat be able to view this journey and this process, because I'm going to be able to look up years from now, right? And just see just all types of stuff, Walk of Fame, all type of TV, movies, and like, yo, I know, I can't wait to do that. I ain't gonna, I'm really excited to do that. I'm really excited to just pull up to the movies and like, you not know him, right? That's why just tell my lady like, all right, yeah, whatever. I'm
Thank
like,
you, brother.
Go back to the episode. I got his number right here. He might have changed, but I got his number, his old number right here. Like, I'm excited for that, man, to just celebrate within that, but even celebrate within this moment, man, because you're a beautiful human, and you're doing incredible things, and you have a heart for Christ and a heart for people, and you live by love, man, and that's powerful to me. And you have integrity, which is huge, because a lot of people, especially in the space that you're in, they lack integrity and character. But those are your foundation, man, and that's powerful. That's powerful that you're going in that space with that. And I believe that, your season is coming for you to really go in and make the impact that God is calling you to make. And I'm just inspired by you because you didn't waver, right? You didn't fall apart. You leaned on God. You didn't allow people, you didn't allow social media to pressure you and try to make you speed up this process. Yeah, you had your hiccups, you had your challenges. We all do. But at the end of the day, you turn back to the Father and he's leading you in the right direction. So, brother, I'm excited for you. I'm happy for you. I love you, man. And I'm just grateful for having you here on the Change What We Normalize podcast. So look, if you're listening right now, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share this with somebody you love. Make sure you tap in with my brother Daryl over here to continue to follow his progress, continue to support him. Yo, the skits are hilarious. I promise you, they are hilarious. You will love them. And until next time, y'all, I will see you on the next episode of the Change What We Normalize podcast. Love y'all. Peace.